And Piyush, over in the United States, Fitch's downgrade has sparked criticism from Washington to Wall Street. What's your view on that downgrade? Is it warranted? And ultimately, is there a secondary effect here for a AAA-rated economy like Singapore?
Well, first of all, the effect, the short-term effect of the downgrade, I think, is going to be minimal. If you harken back to the 2011 downgrade by S&P, who were the first people who did the downgrade, 1 month later, yields on the 2-year and the 10-year were sharply down. And that just reflected that despite the rating coming off from AAA to AA, more money flew into U.S. Treasuries in the next 30 days after that. That reflects a reality, which is that there are just not too many other alternatives. And so if you're sitting with a bundle of cash, what are your choices? If you're not going to go into a AA U.S., where else will you take the money into? So in the short term, I don't really see the AAA moving to AA being very consequential. The challenge really is what it portends for the longer term outlook. The reality is also that U.S. debt to GDP is at 100%. And the fiscal deficit is quite large. And therefore, it does speak in the medium-long term to the overhang that you might continue to see in the U.S., if they're not able to correct the deficit situation in the medium term.
And Piyush, just before we let you go, what are some of the trends, themes, opportunities you're looking at through the third and fourth quarter? And ultimately, what tops the balance of risks right now on your side?
Well, from an opportunity standpoint, Southeast Asia and India actually continue to do relatively well. The domestic economies in the large countries like India and Indonesia are fairly stable, robust in fact. And second, to an extent, we are benefiting from people trying to diversify the supply chains at the margin from China into other parts of our region. So we are seeing a lot more investment go into some of these countries. And I think that will continue to be a driver of growth. I think the sustainability agenda is also beginning to pick up steam in this part of the world. So I do see opportunities on the back of a shift in the economic models to support sustainability. I think from a risk standpoint, apart from obviously the long-term macro risk, the short-term micro risks really tend to be around geopolitics. How the U.S. and China conduct affairs, how we can navigate in a multipolar world is still something which you've got to be very, very watchful of and make sure that you can handle that situation nimbly and adroitly.